Well, this was a request, so I have to do it. Brother, brother, there's too many of you dying. Mother, 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 there's too many of you crying. You know we gotta find a way to bring some love here today. Oh, oh, Father, Father.
Hello, music hippies, and welcome to another episode of the Jammin at Hippie Jacks Radio Hour. The Jammin at Hippie Jacks Radio Hour features limited edition music we recorded here on the farm, like we're doing this weekend because it's festival weekend, or on the road for our Americana Roots music show that appears on PBS affiliates across the nation. You're listening to the Jammin at Hippie Jacks Radio Hour right here on East Tennessee's own WDVX 89.9, 102.9 on your FM radio dial. And for those of you out of easy listening range in the Knoxville area, www.wdvx.com. Like you, Mr. Gregory, over there in Nashville and Green Hills. So if you're listening to this on the radio, you're probably not at the festival. It's going on. It's Memorial Day weekend. Today is what, the 24th? So it's Saturday, that's right. And we're rocking out at the festival, 4 days of great Americana music. www.jamminathippyjacks.com, 931-445-2072. It's not too late to get in on the party. I'm going to start out with the Johnson Brothers, Midnight Train to Memphis, and I'm going to follow that with Barely Alive, and then take a little break, and then we'll do a little more.
Well, Justice John gave me 40 days instead of the fine that I could not pay. Said, walk right, you'll soon be home. Cross the line, you'll be on your own. 40 days, a shotgun and barbed wire fences. 49, sit and listen to the midnight train in Memphis. Well, now whistle blows when the sun comes up. Hit the floor, keep your big mouth shut. Eat your breakfast on the ground. Work like hell till the sun goes down. 40 days, a shotgun and barbed wire fence. 49, just sit and listen to the midnight train in Memphis. jury, 10 for the judge. 20 more to forget my grudge. When I get to 39, that's the longest day in a prisoner's mind. 40 days, a shotgun devoured by 49 to sit and listen to the midnight train to Memphis. Midnight train to Memphis. Midnight train to Memphis. On a midnight train to Memphis. gonna tell a little story. On the way over here, me and my father-in-law were riding in the truck, and a semi ran a red light right behind me as I was going through a green light. And had we gone through it 3 seconds earlier, it probably would have smashed us and killed us. So now I'm going to play Barely Alive because I feel like that's what we should do. Everything is falling darker every day and every night, like I thought it would. And everything I ever had was part of you and I. Now there's nothing good. And if I if I survive, I'll be buried alive. Every time I take a drink of whiskey just to get me by, I think of you. Every night that I don't lay down by your side, girl, I think of you. And if I survive, if I survive, I'll be barely alive. Tell me what it is you needed me to say. Tell me what it is you needed me to do. Tell me what it is you needed me to be. Can't you see the pain I'm going through? I'm just barely alive. Everything is falling darker every day and every night, like I thought it would. And everything I ever had was part of you and I. Now there's nothing good. And if I survive, if I survive, I'll be buried alive. I'll be buried.
was the Johnson Brothers, finishing up that part of the set with Barely Alive. You're listening to the Jammin' at Hippie Jacks Radio Hour right here on East Tennessee's own WDVX 89.9, 102.9 on your FM radio dial, www.wdvx. Going to do another great Johnson Brothers song. Of course, Chris Stapleton being the front man for the Johnson Brothers. This is a song called I Take It Back. Lord knows, isn't that the truth? How many of us have said that and how many times? This is Chris Stapleton, I Take It Back.
I've been thinking about my thoughtless words. I know just how much they must have hurt, and I take it back. Won't you let me take it back? Though I told you that I don't love you, I'd be better off with someone new, but I take it back. Won't you let me take it back? Girl, you know that I still love you, and you know that I'm so alone. I don't know why I told you that I didn't need you. Can't you see that, baby, I was wrong? What I would give to be your lover again. All I wanna do is touch your skin, yeah. If I had you right here, right now, I'd tell you, tell you, tell you, tell you, yeah, you know that I still love you, and you know that I'm so long. I don't know why I told you that I didn't need you. Can't you see that, baby, I was wrong.
That was Chris Stapleton from the great stage over at the Shed in Maryville, Tennessee, doing I Take It Back. We all take it back from time to time, Chris. You're listening to the Jammin' and Hippie Jacks Radio Hour right here on Knoxville's own WDVX 89.9, 102.9 on your FM radio dial, www.wdvx.com on the World Wide Web. Well, it's Jammin' and Hippie Jacks Festival weekend on the Plateau over in Overton County. It's never too late. Great music, 4 days. Might be a camp spot here and there. You never know. Probably find somebody you know. Come over with a day ticket. It don't matter. Camping, music, art, family, funds, fireflies, the creek, the mountains. What can I say? It's all happening. www.jamminandhippiejacks.com. 931-445-2072. I dare you to call us. See if you can get through. How about some Jonathan Byrd? This is some music that we recorded last May at the festival. No, maybe even 2 years ago, because this is from the TV show. This was 2 years ago. Our good buddy Jonathan Byrd doing Oak Tree and then Chicken Wire. And we'll take a little break and finish up. Beautiful. Yay! This way. Oh, yes. You're very lovely. I'm going to tell a quick story and bring him out. Or he can come out while I'm telling it. I don't care. Not last February, but the February before, we all went to Folk Alliance. Anybody know what Folk Alliance is? Folk Alliance is 4 days of unbridled insanity that takes place in a large hotel somewhere in middle America. And they always close the top 3 floors, take all the beds out, and have music showcases that go all night long. 1,800 music showcases in 4 days. It is the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life. It damn near killed us. We can't wait to go back. And Jonathan Byrd was there, good friends with Doug and Talisha, and they all stayed up all night, every night. And Andy had a cold. He was sick. Everybody was sick. Everybody leaves Folk Alliance sick. I was sick for a week. And I met Jonathan Byrd in the lobby. We'll ask him if he remembers. On Sunday morning, it was like the fall of Saigon. You all remember those pictures of the fall of Saigon? People are holding on to helicopters and stuff, and it was crazy. And I gave him a big old hug and tried not to breathe his air. And I said, "Are you going home?" He said, "No, I got a gig in Virginia tonight." We were in Memphis. And that's what it means to be a songwriter, a singer-songwriter, working musician in this world. It doesn't mean that everything is roses. It means that this is what they live for, is for entertaining people and playing music. A lot of them don't have health insurance. A lot of them, are 50, 60 years old doing 150 shows a year. But you know what? They're following their heart, and I think that'll get them into heaven. That's my hope anyway. Jonathan, you ready? Come out. My good friend. I think he's my good friend. I hope he is. There he is. Jonathan Byrd. Give it up.
All right. Thank you. Spiderweb. What my little boy calls spiderweb. Spiderweb. How's everybody doing? You had a good potluck today. Anybody float down the river? Anybody gonna float down the river? All right. Well, I was an oak tree that took 1,000 years to grow. I've seen kingdoms come and go. I've seen the losers turn to lords and back again. I held the rebels when they hung them from my limbs. When men of fortune cast their futures on the sea, it's when they came for me. And I was a slave ship under the standard of the cross, a hallelujah holocaust, and half were dead before we reached the other shore. And the captain never saw the coming storm. that swept around the Cape and took us by surprise, and only 8 survived. And I was a campfire, a pile of driftwood in the sand, the only comfort in this land. And 8 hungry sailors roasted acorns that they'd found, and left me burning as they stumbled toward the sound of a church bell ringing out above the ocean's wind. And I was born again. Now I'm an oak tree out along the wild Cape Fear, and there is talk of freedom here. Oh, where is the kingdom that was here before I came? Oh, where have the people gone who only left their names? A revolution's just a circle after all, and every kingdom falls. Now I am an oak tree. If it takes 1,000 years to grow, I'll see kingdoms come and go. I'll see kingdoms come and go. Hey, thanks, y'all. It's good to be within shooting distance of home. It's nice. In February, I was in the Netherlands and Germany and Switzerland and Denmark. I tell you what, February might not be the time you want to tour in Northern Europe. I don't know. People might have different opinions about that. But I was touring around for a few weeks and just discovering how American I am over there. And one thing I never even thought about is that somebody wouldn't know what chicken wire was. It never even occurred to me before. I had to explain myself a little bit on some nights. But I don't have to tell y'all what chicken wire is. And it's good to be home. I just want to say that. Kick us off. Lord, I hate to fence her in. She been running around with all the chicks. It ain't nothing a little chicken wire won't fix. The chicken wire let the sun shine through. Ain't much to look at, but it'll have to do. And my old hen, she got a roving eye. I guess I need a little chicken wire. Oh, Johnny, wake it up. Rooster, don't you cross that line. That hen you're looking at is mine. And I'm the only rooster in this yard. Stay on your side of that chicken wire. The chicken wire lets the sun shine through. Ain't much to look at, but it'll have to do. And my old hen, she got a roving eye. I guess I need a little chicken wire. have to do. My old hen, she got a roving eye. I guess I need a little chicken wire. Who knows that? Sing it with it. I guess I need a little chicken wire. All right. That's Omar Ruiz Lopez on the fiddle right there. We got Johnny Waken on the mandolin and the guitar over here. And Mr. Paul Ford, he left his bass in the dryer a little too long. He's just going to sit down tonight and use it. Paul Ford on the cello there.
Jonathan Byrd doing chicken wire. I get it, Jonathan. You got to keep the hens in sometimes. You get the hens out running, you don't know what's going to happen. Always leads to trouble. Good luck with that thought pattern. You're listening to the Jammin' and Hippie Jacks Radio Hour right here on East Tennessee's own WDVX, and you can listen to the Jammin' and Hippie Jacks Radio Hour every Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, www.wdvx.com on the World Wide Web. We're going to do a little more Jonathan Byrd here, a couple of more songs before we close the show. Let's do Wild Ponies, and then that wonderful little iconic Eaton song, Juanita. She's trying to put some weight on me.
So my last record is called Cackalack. Now that's just short for Kakalaki. So y'all want to know what Kakalaki means. But Kakalaki just means Carolina. It means like I'm from North Kakalaki. My friend Jack Williams, he's from South Kakalaki. That's all Kakalaki is. It's a very old word. You find it in journals from the Civil War, the boys from Kakalaki, you know. But nobody knows where it came. There's no etymology for Kakalaki, although I met a philologist in Fort Collins, Colorado, who accepted the Kakalaki challenge. He's going to let me know. There's been no word as of yet. It's been 3 months. I wish him luck. So these are some of these songs are off this record, Cackalack. It's just about North Carolina. I'm a 7th generation Kackalakian. Myself, I got the 8th generation running around now. And so these songs are from places in North Carolina and stories about people in North Carolina. This one's called The Wild Ponies. This is inspired by these beautiful horses out on the Outer Banks in North Carolina, dropped off by Spanish ships probably 400 years ago and still living out there. And this is a love story. It takes place in Beaufort, North Carolina. It was the first place I ever saw wild ponies, was looking across the channel there, playing a gig at a place called the Dock House. So this is called The Wild Ponies. She had legs like daggers and eyes like oceans, and her heart locked up in a hard combination. And I took her to the island to see the wild ponies. Well, see, I had a friend who had a concrete boat. It don't take as much as you might think to float. And he lived out on the island with the wild ponies. And we made a fire in the live oak trees and listened to the pirate breeze a-blowing. Wondered how a man could be so far from home and still know where he's going. Well, she drifted down from a shipwrecked town and landed here on the Pamlico Sound. She'd heard out on the island there were wild ponies. Well, I I gave all I could give to her. A chance to see what she had heard. And a night out on the island with a wild pony. But she didn't stay here like she didn't stay there, always looking for somewhere a little greener. And every time I see the ponies run, scared and hungry, wild and young, I see her. Yeah. I heard somebody say she died, drinking one night on the ocean side, swimming to freedom like a wild pony. Well, I wish her well, I wish her peace. Hey, it's got to be lonely to be so free, always running like a wild pony. Yeah, living your life like a wild Thank you. Thank you all. All right. Hey, fans are the best. My fans are everything to me. I tell you the truth, like about 12 years ago, 13, 14, I'm not so good with time. But somewhere in there, my house burned down, and I had 2 guitars in my car. And everything I have now, like I started touring right then, everything I have now comes from my fans. My whole life is built on that, which is amazing to me, to think that people will be that generous with me, right? So this song was inspired by a fan who, I was just in Seattle back in March or April. Like I said, I'm not that good with time. It was about a month ago, 2 months ago, I don't know. So we played 3 shows in Seattle, because you can play in North Seattle and South Seattle and maybe West Seattle and not compete with each other. It's big enough, and people don't like to drive once they get home from work, right? So that's what we did. We played 3 different gigs, one in North, one in West, one in South. And the third one we played was down in South, and I thought, I know that young lady from somewhere. And I started talking to her. Her name was Juanita, and she'd been to all 3 shows in Seattle. That's why I knew her face. And she said, 3 shows ago was the first time I ever saw you, and I just can't stop coming. So we went down to Portland to play another show, and she sent me a message. And we were out in the desert. I didn't get it in time, but she sent me a message. She said, now, 3 shows was not enough. I'm coming down to Portland for another show, which is like 3+ hours to drive down there, right? She said, I'm a pastry chef. Can I bring you a pie? Now, folks, if you ever want to make me a pie and bring it to a gig, if I don't get back to you, just bring it. We'll we'll find out what to do with it when you get here. So I got back to her, but it was too late to make the pie, so she came down anyway. She drove 3 hours after getting off work and got there just in time, and she brought a dozen handmade cupcakes in a box. And it was just great. And the next day I was hiking with some friends, some songwriting friends, Dan Weber, Dan Dover, Matt Mee, and Philip Gutman. So there's this thing that songwriters do amongst ourselves whenever somebody says something cool that we think might turn into a song. We go, you know, you get that look from across the room. So we're hiking, right? And we're talking to everybody. I introduced Juanita to the whole crowd, and everybody gave her applause. And everybody knew she was there, right? So me and Dan were talking about it. And I said, yeah, I think she's trying to put some weight on me. And Dan goes, right? So we're at a party that night, and I just started playing these chords here, and people started throwing lines. Like, if we ever record this, royalties are going to be hell. There's like 5 people at the party, and nobody knows who wrote what. So I got back to North Carolina, and the first gig I played, I walked in. It was the Garage in Winston-Salem, and Kim behind the bar said, Jonathan, I got a package for you. And it was 24 handmade pies about that big in a priority box. And the thing is, we were really disappointed when we walked in because there weren't that many people there, but it turned out there were enough pies for everybody in the room. And the next day, all my fans called Juanita. She said, one lady called me at 8 o'clock in the morning, her time, which meant it was 5 o'clock in the morning. Bless her heart, she said. So this is one for Juanita. She's trying to put some weight on me. She asked me if I wanted some pie. She's trying to put some weight on me. She'll bring it to the show tonight. She's trying to put some weight on me. Juanita, Juanita, she's trying to put some weight on me. She came 4 nights in a row. She's trying to put some weight on me. A little sugar after the show. She's trying to put some weight on me. Juanita, Juanita, she's trying to put some weight on me. Butter, sweet cream. She's trying to put some weight on me. It's a grandma's recipe. She's trying to put some weight on me. Come on, Grandma. Juanita, Juanita, she's trying to put some weight on me. What's her name? Juanita, Juanita, she's trying to put some weight on me. Johnny Wakey.
Thanks for listening today to the Jammin' and Hippie Jacks Radio Hour, which airs every Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on East Tennessee's on WDVX. If you'd like to know more about Jammin' and Hippie Jacks and all things hippie, our website is www.jamminandhippiejacks.com. or call us on the farm at 931-445-2072. Talk to Silas. He'll tell you all about our upcoming festivals and events. Funding for this program was made possible through a grant provided by the Tennessee Department of Transportation to help maintain litter-free events, recycling, and litter prevention education. Jammin at Hippie Jacks operates under the 501c3 nonprofit organization, the Council of Americana Roots Music, which is dedicated to presenting, promoting, and most importantly, preserving Americana Roots music. Well, it's festival weekend for us. We're over here on the plateau kicking it down. Great music, great food, great camping, a great party. I want to remind everybody that all Jammin' and Hippie Jacks events and all Council of Americana Roots Music associated events are food drives, shoe drives, and clothing drives. We distribute the food that we take in on the mountain to a food pantry, the Seven Loaves Food Pantry up there, and then we get the clothing and the shoes into the hands of the Souls for Souls folks who clothe and shoe homeless people all across the country and throughout the world for that matter. So please, if you're able, get in there into those closets and find us something you don't need and drop us off a little non-perishable food and everything will be right with the world. Be part of the solution. Don't forget to help. Good night, everybody.
Everybody thinks we're wrong, but who are they to judge us? Simply because our hair's too long, or maybe it's all gone, I don't know. You know we gotta find a way